Lo and behold, the Italian government recently passed a law banning the sale of weapons to the Middle East.
Yeah. So they come into
to Iraq specifically.
To Iraq specifically, yeah. So they're like, crap, how do we get these guns into Iraq? And so they're like, I got an idea. Well, because and then like you said, the law changed, and David finds out about this because he calls the army sergeant or the head of the military operation that he's selling them to. And he's like, hey, yeah, we got them on the way. You know, we got them all together. We just got to get them to you. And he's like, you do know that the Italians passed a law last week. And he's like, yeah, we understand. We're working on it. It's a little hiccup on the road, but we're figuring it out, total salesman kind of thing. And then he's like, David's like, oh man, what are we going to do? And like, he's on the phone. And then Ephraim's like, oh my God. He's like, here, I'll pick it up. And so he totally plays like, is one Christian man to another, Sergeant? I'm just trying to provide for my family. And he's like, just total, just BS in his whole way through it. It's so disgusting. So the guy hangs up on him. They're like, crap, what are we going to do? He's like, well, let's go get our guns. They're stuck in, was it Jordan? Yeah, they're stuck in Jordan.
They were
stuck in the bay on Jordan.
They weren't. No. So basically, what happened is they were going to be shipped direct from Italy to Iraq.
But
what ended up happening is they're like, hey, Jordan is on it borders Iraq, and there's no law against shipping weapons from Italy to Jordan. So they're like, we'll just have the Italians ship the weapons to Jordan, and then we'll get them across the border ourselves. And this is kind of where the story kind of kicks things up a notch, because at this point the girlfriend is kind of sort of in on it. Mm-hmm. She knows that they're working on some things. She doesn't know the full details.
Yeah, she knows it involves weapons though.
But she's also but she's kind of okay with it because from her perspective, it's more or less an office job, even though it's, a lot of shady work. At least it's more or less an office job. So she's kind of,
she's cool with it because he's safe.
Yeah, she can rationalize it that way.
Yeah.
And then so this is where it kind of oh, well, that's out the window because they have to literally fly to the Middle East in order to make sure that these weapons cross the border.
Yeah, so they get there. They figure out a way to get the access to him from a smuggler dude. So they're able to get them. They put it on a truck, and this little kid who's been translating over from English to... I don't know what language they're speaking. But anyway, the kid's translating for him, and then they finally were able to get the truck, and the kid's like, this is the best smuggler in Jordan. He's the best one around. He's like, oh, really? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, we need to fly those things away. And he's like, there's no fly zone in Iraq. You can't fly them into Iraq. That's ridiculous. And so he's like, no, I need them to So he has them in this truck, and the smuggler has them in the truck. And so they're like, crap, I guess we're going to have to drive these through Jordan into Iraq, through Iraq, and get them to where they need to go. And that's exactly what they do. They get in, hop in this car with a guy named Marlboro, and who's a smuggler dude, and they're driving. They need to drive 500 miles or 800 kilometers to where they need to go to deliver these Berettas. And it's like, geez, man, this is crazy. And I haven't heard all the interviews yet, but I'm pretty sure this was something that actually happened because he never refuted any of it as far as from what I've heard. So I'm just going to go ahead and believe this really happened. I'm sure it's less colorful. Maybe they weren't running away from Iraqis, but you know what? I'd like to imagine maybe they did. I don't know. So anyway, they hop in the car, and the guy's like, no, 50-50. They're like, what chance are we going to survive? 50-50 is good. A good chance. And they're like, 50-50? He doesn't even know what that freaking means. And it's so funny, David, because I actually met somebody today at work that I was helping out with who used that exact phrase. No, 50-50 is good. And I was in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if he knows what 50-50 means. I was like, but no judgment. I'm just going to keep working with you and keep going along. So anyway, So anyway, we have them driving across the desert. The guy says there's free petrol in Iraq. And so, like, Jonah Hill's character is like, dude, Iraq is dope. We got free gas, man. There's free gas. Iraq is dope. And so it's like David is just going along with this and is like, all right, I guess I'm sucked into this. They get to a border crossing. A bunch of Iraqis are there. The guy reaches down. They pull the guns on him, and he hands them 2 packs of, like, I think they're long Marlboros, but they're like 2 big packs.
Yeah, they're
cigarettes.
2 cartons of cigarettes.
2 cartons of cigarettes. And that's how he uses to smuggle stuff back and forth. So that's cool. So that happens. And then they wake up. I mean, I'm sure some time has passed, but they wake up next to a petrol station in the morning. And Marlboro is getting some gas, but they don't know about it. They find a dead body in the gas station. Ephraim gets out and takes a leak. And that's one thing I want to talk about. Like you say, the tracking shot where they're driving to Albania, the tracking shot, the long shot with Jonah Hill walking through the desert or by the gas station, getting ready to go, like trying to find a place to take a leak. That's a long shot. And that kind of shows me that Ephraim's not willing to adapt or change in any scenario. He's always, as a character, he's always just himself. And he's always like unbothered by pretty much any like environment he's in, because he's not willing to make that sacrifice or adapt to other people. They have to adapt to him. That's something that I just, from that one shot, that's what that shows to me, is like he is like unbothered by the hot sun, that they're in the middle of nowhere, that their lives at risk. He's like, I just want my money. So it's like, I don't know, just find an interesting character study about that guy. So anyway, oh no, there's a bunch of Iraqis coming down the road in a bunch of pickup trucks with some guns, 50 cals, a whole bunch of AKs or whatever. And they're coming after him. They freak out. They start driving away. Oh no, the car's empty on gas. They book it. The guy, Marlboro's like, no, wait. He has 1 gas can with him, hops in the back of the truck. The Iraqis are still chasing him. He then undoes the cap of the gas and starts filling up the gas in the back. And it's this tense scene. They're running away from the Iraqis. They're going slow. They can't go very fast because they got no petrol in there. And then what happens, David? What happens? What happens that changes the whole scenario?
Well, they see the good old U.S. military coming straight at them, go around them, and straight towards their pursuers. Yeah, the big old Black Hawk helicopter, and then some armored Humvees pass them by moments later.
And as they're passing by, they're like, yeah, we're saved. And the guy, the U.S. Army guy driving the truck by him is flipping them off.
Yeah.
And then like Jonah Hill's character, Ephraim's yells out, God bless Dick Cheney's America. And it's great. So full spoilers, guys, by the way, as we continue on. So anyway, they get the Berettas to the guy. The guy can't believe he gets the Berettas. And then that shows the U.S. military that, oh, AEY or whatever is legit and they're kind of cool. And they go to get paid, David. Let me tell you. They go get paid, and it's like bricks of money. What's it called? Pallets full of giant cubes of U.S. cash just sitting there. And it's like some crazy like $40 billion just sitting there. It's like, good Lord almighty. Like, I know we're fighting a war. I know this is how the U.S. fights wars. But, man, it's kind of crazy to imagine that kind of stuff. So imagine what's going on today. Whoa. War makes money. Money makes war. And it's sad, but it's true. I don't know. What do you think about all this aspect of, I don't know, making money off of a bad scenario, you know?
I mean, that's what people are going to do in any situation, right? They're going to, like, still got to put food on the table, still got to pay the bills, right? So.
And what's that quote from, I don't remember what politician. You'll probably know when I say it, but it's never let a good disaster or conflict go to waste or something. What was that? What politician? Was it Nancy Pelosi that said that?
No.
It was never let a good disaster go to waste or something.
No.
What was it?
I
can't remember.
That's not quite the quote either.
No, it's not. No, I'm paraphrasing for sure.
I can't remember.
While you look that up, I remember it was a politician that said that, and it's like, oh, never let a disaster go to waste. I don't want to say it was Mitch. It was somebody else. It was somebody else. But anyway, um, I find it just interesting because um, the kind of like, because over the summer, I did the fire stuff, and we're not taking advantage of a bad situation. We're just doing our job. But knowing that context of being a contractor and working for the government to take care of a bad scenario, like a fire, kind of gives you a tiny glimpse into what like the crazy stuff that kind of this movie portrays. I'm not comparing that arms dealing is the same as fighting fires. Far from that. What I am bringing up is the concept of working for the government to help in a disaster scenario, whether it be a fire, a hurricane, etc., and getting paid by the government to do that kind of thing. And it's all connecting in my brain for me, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I looked up the quote. It's never let a good crisis go to waste. And it is attributed to Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill?
Yes.
Fake news. No. I'm joking.
It's believed that he said that after World War II, during the formation of the United Nations.
Interesting.